Hi, welcome to Belinda's Baubles. My name is Belinda and I am coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. Today is November 10th, 2024, and this is episode 19. It's been about a month and a half since I've had a podcast, and I hope you're not hearing a lot of noise in the background. I'm trying out a new mic, and I've got the air conditioner going because it's warm in here. But just welcome aboard. I have some new subscribers. Thank you very much. And I really do appreciate you helping me grow my channel. It's been about a month and a half since I've been on here for an episode, mainly because when I did that one, I was on jury duty. Then I went to DFW Fiber Fest. And then the next weekend, I went to Virginia for a reunion and went to the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. I've just finished getting all of those, which was about 4 videos up and going. And if you haven't seen them yet, go over and take a look. There's some fun things in there. And today I have several things I need to get done. The end of the Falloween make-along, and I've drawn a winner. Then there's also several finished objects, since it's been a while since you saw me, and everything was pretty much towards the end. Before, I have one new item that's in the works and a lot of confessions. Maybe seeing a few things over here. We'll talk about those in just a bit. So I will be going through the things that came home with me from both fiber festivals. No judgment here, please. I tried to be good. So I hope you have something to drink, put your feet up, relax, and let's just have some fun together. This is a knitting and crochet podcast mainly. Some other crafts will go in, and I also have a tendency to take you along with me if I'm going anywhere. And I am wearing one of my finished objects, and I will talk about this in just a bit. So, first up, I just finished my make-along over on Ravelry. Thank you very much for those of you that participated. I had a lot of fun and it helped me keep motivated. And this was the first time I've done a make-along all by myself. At the beginning of the year, I did a make-along with Mandy with Mouse's Makes, and she graciously held my hand as I ventured into that world and helped me along. So I'm going to put the winner right here. I took and drew the winner online, and here's a picture of what the number that came up, which was number 27. And when I went over onto Ravelry, which I had taken all of my comments out and left all of y'all's in, but Lorraine Elwood, Lorraine, if you could please send me a message on Ravelry and let me know what pattern you would like, and I will gift that to you. And if you're not over on Ravelry, or you haven't had a chance to see what she's been up to, she made a beautiful sweater that I absolutely love. Striped sleeves, it's gorgeous. I do have another make-along coming up. I will be doing the Topping Out MAL again this year. It will be starting the 1st of January, going through the end of March, and as it did last year, I will be drawing names from Ravelry. Only thing that goes with this is you don't even have to finish anything to be participating in the monthly pattern prizes, but at the very end of March, I will be drawing from the finished objects, and those will get the actual physical prizes. Don't know what all is going to happen with this. If anyone is interested, I know Mandy held my hand last year, but I don't know if she was going to want to participate this year. But anyone else who would like to come along, I would love to have you join in. But The make along is anything that has been started by December 31st, 2024. Even if you cast on New Year's Eve. If you've started it, it's eligible to be participating. It's just a fun way of trying to finish up some projects to get ready for spring. So more information will be coming up in December in regards to that. I'll be doing daily, they'll probably be daily shorts like I did last year, because I have two different advents I'll be opening up. One will be a scrappy one that I put together during Christmas in July, and the other one is a Mouse's Makes advent calendar that I'll be opening up. And then I'll be throwing in a little bit of other stuff. But since I do work full time, it makes it hard for me to do a daily vlog of any length. So I'm just probably going to do some shorts and maybe a few other things that just throw in there what I can do. But I do want to participate, and I so enjoy Christmas. Okay, so shall we get into this? I think that's all I need to say up front. Did I forget anything? Do you know? Okay. All right, I'm going to turn the air conditioner back off. It's gotten cooler. And I'm going to get my notes out and see where we are going. Okay, so I'm going to start off with finished objects. Over the summer, I ended up in a place where I had several things that I was working on that were all in Body Island. So the last video and this video, that's why you're getting some of these larger projects all of a sudden being done. It's not that I'm fast. I promise you I'm not. And at the moment, due to doing one of these in a fast manner, carpal tunnel has hit me. So at the moment, all I can do is crochet, because knitting is, I'm a thrower and knitting isn't working for me at the moment. And that's killing me. It's coming up for Advent. It's coming up for Christmas, and I cannot knit. Okay, so back to finished objects. First one I have is a muscle burr. This was requested by Seaver. He has been using my muscle burr hat, and he actually, if it looks fuzzy and everything, it's because he's been wearing it. And he wears it nightly. He actually wears this to sleep in, and it covers over his eyes even like a mask. And he had been using my muscle burr until I got his done. Now, this is not a favorite pattern of mine, but the only reason it's not a favorite pattern of mine is casting on in the little pinhole. It drives me nuts. Once I get it going, I'm fine. And this actually went with me to Virginia. So I did this in, sorry, I'm putting my notes back and forth, but I've got the information here. I made this in Cascade Yarns Heritage in the color 5656 green. And then the other half, this is a Lonely Sock Lady. And it was a 50 gram and a 20 gram sock set called Hunting Hunter in a 6 stripe. And the colors just went together great. Seaver chose these colors. And I love the cast off. I love how that looks and everything. I just don't like the cast on. Muscle burr, of course, I did, let's see, what were my notes? It's a little bit. I did the size large for length, and the size medium adult, I think, where is it? Adult medium I did for, what? The way the muscle burr, if you haven't done it before, you start it up, and then once you've cast it on, which was this end, once you cast it on with the needle that you're wanting to use and the yarn you're wanting to use, then you find out your gauge, and then you work from there on how far you go. So I ended up using a US 5 3.75 millimeter, which is kind of makes it to where it's not a real tight one, but here in Texas, you know, doubled up, you don't want it to be real tight. And then I did the main color. I knit to 14 inches, so that way it would be the brim for both sides, and then knit 4 inches before starting the decreases. And Seaver was wanting a hat that did not have any kind of ribbing since he was sleeping in it, because any of the ribbed hats had a tendency to leave marks on his forehead for the start of his day. Okay, now I can't get it to go back. Y'all have trouble with these things? Okay. All right, so there we go. Next up, I've got all my Ravelry notes here in front of me on my computer, so bear with me. Next thing I have is the About Time tee. This is a crocheted cropped tee, and I was a test crocheter for Kate Hammett, who is oh shoot, what is her handle? One of a Kate. There we go. It's actually fairly late in the evening, so my brain is starting to go, but I knew if I didn't go ahead and record this now, I might not get it done anytime soon. So she goes by One of a Kate, and she let me be one of her test crocheters. I had an absolute blast with this. Now, I did this in a Beetlejuice theme, hence the purple, and it's got the black and white and green, and I will do a picture here. I did a short of which Seaver helped me out by my favorite spooky tree, and if you have a chance, go take a look at that if you haven't seen it yet. It's fun. We had a real good time doing it, but I wanted to theme it after Beetlejuice. Even had my little book there on how to live with ghosts, and the hook on this was a F 3.75, and it's a great way of taking 3 different yarns and melding them together. Now, the ones that I have here, there is a purple with green, and that is Beetlejuice, hence the name, by Charming You Lush Sock. Then I also have a black and silver gray with a little bit of sparkle. That is a Hank Me Home Tonight Sparkle Squishy Sock in the colorway Jack. See the theme going on here? All right, then I have a Surrey Silk. This lime green is actually a Surrey Silk in lace weight. It's West 7th's Wool Surrey Silk in the colorway Glowworm. Now, I did do this in a size extra large, but I did the length for the 2XL. I have all the information over on Ravelry as to length, color, all of that. She has it to where she has designed it to be a looser fit, but this is what felt comfortable to me, and I am loving it. It's a fun piece to layer with. Okay, so that's 2. Next up is I finished the Silver Bells. The Silver Bells by Tin Can Knits. And, okay, drop something. Hold on a second. My next finished object is wanting to jump ship. Okay, so this is the Silver Bells. by Tin Can Knits. I don't have a picture of me in it yet, even though I have worn it. I wore it to DFW Fiber Fest already, and I've wore it quite a bit in Virginia. This was it's the first time I had done knitted baubles, and it's the most lace I have done so far, and I am so proud of it. I love how it turned out. I used both US 7 and US 9 needles, 4.5 millimeter and 5.5 millimeter. And I used the Nomad yarn eggshell, which is just a cream wool. You can kind of see it coming through. And then the color is Mirasol Yarns Inca in Carnelian is the actual color. Now this is just a really silky, let me see what it is here. Really silky yarn, and it is fingering weight, 64% manufactured rayon viscose, and 36% alpaca. So it's actually very warm, but it's silky soft. And it has such great drape. Now, one of the things that I changed was I did do the short sleeve version, but I also stopped the baubles. They give you an option of using the baubles or not using the baubles, but the baubles were supposed to continue on down, and so I stopped them here because I really did not want baubles across my chest or down on my arm. That just wasn't comfortable to me. It does have a folded over neck ribbing, and I really did like how that turned out. So by the time you do the lace and get down to the lace, there's not a lot of body before getting to the ribbing. And I did love that. So I would definitely recommend this pattern. I got it free for participating in their app, which the app, there's a few things I would like differently on the app as far as it doesn't give you a place for a counter. And so, or to mark where your progress, where you are. So that made it a little difficult, but I did love the fact that you choose your size and then all it gives you is the instructions for the size that you've chosen and all the information for that size. So that was very handy. What else do I need to tell you about this project? Oh, this Inca went really far because the first ball of Inca, and this is size, what size did I do? I did the medium large size, and the Inca, I didn't change the first ball until 10 rows before the lace ended. So that did go really far. Okay, next up, I participated in Stephanie Lotvin's Witch's Brew Cowl. It's the first time I did a mystery knit along. Here it is. And if you're familiar with the Witch's Brew Cowl, you will notice I did one thing a bit different. I did poison apples or candied apples, whichever one you want to call it, because a part of Halloween when I was a kid was always dunking for apples. So I wanted that kind of in. One of my favorite things on here are these cats. Aren't those great? Then there's a little bit of lace work here. And it was a very interesting piece, and the way she had it designed going. Oh, and look at the smoke. it was very doable in the time frame that we had. So I actually started this. Where's my dates? Aha, I finally found it. I started it on October 1st and I finished it on October 21st. During the same time, I was having some stress issues going on, plus working in color work. Hence, this happened. I do still love color work. I want to do more color work, but I don't think I'm going to do another timed piece. And the timing wasn't so much as far as wanting to be able to enter in, was I wanted to wear this. So I wore this the last week before Halloween, all the way up to Halloween. And it got cool enough to where I could wear it, thankfully, even though some of the time I was wearing this over a tank top. So that's Texas Halloween for you. So I think I may have been a little too tight in my cast off because it doesn't seem to stretch, or I may just have done it too tight, period. It doesn't seem to stretch as much as what I've seen others stretching. But I really do love this. Now let's go through all of these yarns. Okay. You ready for this? The majority of this is done in Cascade Yarn Heritage. I have the Sapphire, Highlighter Yellow, Turquoise. I know I'm going out of order, but it's how I have it in here. Then there is what they call a yellow green, which is my background down here with the cats. Oh no, that's highlighter. Where's my highlighter? I've got highlighter yellow in here twice. Okay. 5775. Okay, so I've got a highlighter yellow and a highlighter green. The highlighter yellow is 5774 is the color. And then this one down here is 5775. Real close. Then the white is Nomad. It's just the bare yarn that I had extra of. And then the red here is John Arbin Textiles Exmoor Sock in color Pegels. And that was the only other one. I think that was it. Yeah. And originally I was going to do, instead of red, I was going to do a highlighter pink, but I wasn't paying attention and I grabbed the wrong sock weight, or not, the wrong yarn weight. And I wanted to start it, so I just went into my stash, found that, and I'm very happy with it. Now, there are some other themed cowls that she has. One is a Christmas one, and I am wanting to do that one, but I'm going to do it slower, so I probably won't be wearing it this Christmas. It'll probably be next Christmas. I have one other finished object, which I do not have with me. I'm going to have to put a picture up here because they have started their way towards Virginia. This is the Perfect Newborn Socks by Tabitha Gandy. It's a free pattern, and this is the third time that I've used it. Now, this time I did do the cable sock version because of it being for a baby girl instead of the ribbed, and I loved it. So my great niece on my side of the family, number 3, she was born Saturday, and I still had not sent these out. So I got them out fairly quickly. Now I did use for this the Silly Goose yarns. soft fingering in rose gold. And I really do love these socks. This, as I said, this is my third pair. I think I may have gone up a little in needle size. I'll have to look it up and get back with you on that, because these just seem, I don't know if it was because they were cabled instead of ribbed, but they just seemed a little bit bigger. Now, what I do is I do put them on the hooks, but I'm only sending one of these hooked sock holders with it. And the reason for that is for them to be able to take the sock holder after the baby's finished wearing it and turn it into a Christmas tree ornament as a memory. So that is it for me for finished objects. So that's a total of 5. I didn't think I was ever going to do 5 again. The last time I did 5 was mostly hats. But one was little tiny socks. The other was a hat. So for new construction, I do have a vanilla sock that I have started. I've actually gotten one sock done, but I'm going to show you that in Confessions because I am using a yarn that I got from the DFW Fiber Fest. So that'll come in a bit. Instead, in the works, I just want to touch base with you real quick on one project, because after finishing all those others, the only other thing I'm working on is, since I can crochet right now and not knit so much, I have been working my hanger here on the Granny Go Round cardigan by Iron Lamb. This started out as a make along with On the Lamb Yarn Shop, and I've kind of fallen by the wayside there while I was working on some other things, with mainly because I was needing to finish this tee first, since it was a timed piece. So this is how last time I think I had just split when I showed it. So I'm almost done with the body down to the ribbing. I'm still debating. You know me, I have a tendency to stop too early. But what I'm actually going to do with this is I do not have enough for the sleeves of some of the colors. So what I'm going to do instead is I also have the Jethro pattern. And the Jethro pattern does the body is crocheted with granny squares, and then it's knitted sleeves. So I'm going to use the Jethro pattern to give me some information on just adding sleeves, and I'm going to knit the sleeves in white, and then I'm going to do the edging in white also. And I think I'm going to love that a bit more. Plus it'll make it unique to me. I've got all these edges and everything that I'll be going into, be hidden away in the edging. So what I have, let's see here, I am doing the size 2XL. I started out doing the XL, but the sleeves were too shallow, and so I've switched over to the 2XL to make sure that I had enough. It wasn't too tight on the arms, and my arms are not real big. I think the arms were just a bit off on it. I am using a 5mm H hook, and I don't have all my yarns here with me. Basically, a lot of them are Premier. This is just stuff I took out of my stash, other than this one here that is turquoise and orange. It is a Charming You yarn, and I'll go over all of those once I actually get a little closer in on it. Plus, that's really not what you're here for, is it? You're here for what's back here. Okay, so let me close up the computer put away my notes, and let's do confession time. Okay, Sam, if you are watching this, please, for the sake of our marriage, go ahead and turn off the video and move along. You don't want to see this. Everybody else stay here. Okay, so I'm going to start with DFW Fiber Fest. I had an absolute blast, but I was trying not to buy too much yarn, so I found a few other things. In fact, I have some new project bags. This one went to Virginia with me, and I've been using it quite a bit already. So I have two new Erin Lane bags. If you saw the video, she had a box of sale, I think they were 50% off bags that I went rummaging through, and so these are the ones that I picked out. I really like the ones that have these straps on them, because I just hook them onto my jeans and just go with it. This one is a single, but this one, again with the strap, is a double. So it actually has a divider in the middle, so I could put two different projects in there. And this is just bathtubs, or no, was it bathtub? Yeah, bathtubs with yarn in them. The other one was flowers. They are box bottoms. Okay, next up is Charming You. This is her Lush sock, and it didn't look this messy. This is what I started. It had 250 grams, and let's see, this is fingering weight. I think it was themed after Beetlejuice. So she already has it caked up in the 250 gram. And this is what, excuse my reach. I should have been a little bit more prepared. It's just been a day and a half and a week and a month and all of that. Okay, so I'm just doing a vanilla sock. So from this to this. Now I did just the leg down into the purple and then went into the orange. Now what I did do was, once I got to the toe area, I took the extra orange off and started the toe because I wanted that, and I let it blend in because there's enough here, since it is a 50 gram, to where, you know, I have a size 6 foot US size, so I have a small foot as far as lengthwise. So there's plenty here to get a man sock out of it. Maybe not a size 13, but quite a few. You know, if you're a little inventive, you probably could. Okay. All right. We just put that down there and see what else I have. This is a button and boo bag. She does such a great job. Charming You has a tendency to use hers with her different events and everything. So you see there. And I love the sunflowers. Even has a little sunflower keychain there. And this again was on sale. Then there was another maker, Paige Sato, which is the founder and maker-in-chief of Mabel, M.A.B.B.E.L., which is Makers Always Bring Extra Love. There's her card. And she takes vintage quilts and turns them into jackets and bags and just anything and everything, and gives them a new life. And one of the things that she was doing was little snapback baby bibs. And this one was from a bead sack double wedding ring. And she's, laying back there. And I bought 2 of these. One of them is on its way to Virginia. It was a different pattern. And then this one is going to be going to Alaska. I have another great niece due this winter. So I just fell in love with those. And I love the fact that you're taking something and repurposing it. Okay. So this was actually, I got it at DFW Fiber Fest, but I ordered it at the Yarn Crawl. This is from Gloria with not Charming You, Hank Me Home Tonight. And she did a sock tube for me. This is not something she normally does, but I'm wanting to play with the sock tube and see about making some afterthought heel socks. So I am hoping to actually get a couple of pairs out of this. But before I break into the really good stuff, okay, I will put the name of the vendor right here because my mind has gone. Mustache. Yes, Mustache. Okay, there we go. Mustache was selling basically where they just had long strips that were a little bit of everything. And so what I'm wanting to do with this is do some socks for myself and practice on it before hopefully making Sam and Seaver some socks from this one. And they were selling these by the inch. It was very economical, and I'm excited to get to cut into that one. Okay. Then one of the vendors, I will have to look this one up and put it here, had a gumball machine. So for $5, I went and put a quarter in the gumball machine and got a mini. It actually goes pretty good with that one. This may be my heels. At least one set. I don't know. Okay, that's a thought. Geektastic Fibers. This is their sparkle sock with Stellina. So you have a little bit of shine in there. And the colorway is Hisoka. And I saw this and I thought this needed to be a pair of socks for me for all that color, because I am participating in Strictly Sock Along this year that is hosted by Allie with Little Drops of Wonderful. And with Seaver's hat, this striped yarn was one that I had won the first time I think I did Strictly Sock Along. All right, with Erin Lane, I also got some stitch markers. I love, love, love her little sheep. And so I just got, as you can see, I've already been using one. And then I was really interested in the C-cell that Bashful Armadillo had dyed up. And so I did get 3 skeins. Each one is, these are 50-gram skeins. Each one is 200 yards, and it's 100% C-cell, which is made from seaweed. It's got some interesting bits to it, so I'll go over that with you a little bit later on. But it's supposed to cool the skin, and when it was laying on me, a piece that was knit up, it really did cool my skin. So I need this for next summer. This colorway is called Shark Attack. What else do I have in here? All right, so Nordic Star yarns. Yes, it is that bright. This is called Great Pumpkin. It's a lace weight, 70% Super Kid mohair, 30% mulberry silk. It's 50 grams, one hank, 437 yards. And she had made a muscle bar. She made a ranunculus in my size out of one skein. And she gifted me a mini in the same. So I am thinking I'm going to use the mini to do the neckline to give it a little bit more stability. And then do my ranunculus in this bright, bright orange. Or I may put this over towards the prizes for the make along next year. I think I will do that. I think this will end up going to you guys eventually. And this will stick with me. Okay, so that's it for DFW Fiber Fest. It really wasn't too horrible, was it? Next up is Shenandoah Valley Fiber Fest. Okay, so I did fly to Virginia for the 50th anniversary of the church I grew up in there. And it was also the high school I'd graduated from. And so I met up with some of my high school and 20-year, my friends from when I was 20, in my 20s and everything, and had a great time with family, friends, people I hadn't seen in forever. But 70 miles away from where I was staying was the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. I haven't flown very much in the last 10 years. And I definitely had not flown. I flew on American, and basically, if you haven't flown on them, you pay if you want to choose your seat. You pay if you want to check bags. You pay, it's just pay this, pay that. So I was determined to be able to just carry on my bag. I wasn't going to choose a seat. I ended up doing that. Was paying a little bit for being able to choose my seat. But they kept saying that there wasn't going to be a whole lot of overhead. So what I did was I just did a backpack that I got off Temu. I know it's bad, but I got it back off Temu, and it just zipped all the way around pretty much. So I could just lay it open. And that's what I took. And then I also bought this. It's actually a neck pillow. And it zips open. And I took this empty. And they let you have a personal item. So this counted as my personal item because it counted as my pillow. And I have all my goodies in there. So you ready for this? This is Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. Okay. So I ran into Fiber Seed, which I had met them originally at DFW Fiber Fest. So I was excited to see them again. And I had met them the first time at the very first DFW Fiber Fest I'd gone to. It's the Great Pumpkin. It's their Sprout DK. And this was basically, I was wanting to see the changing of the leaves. Of course, it was too early for it. I saw more green, but it was still a dream. So I was loving that. Then Jim Lux Fibers was at both DFW Fiber Fest and at Shenandoah Valley Fiber Fest, and it was their first time at Shenandoah Valley. This is their Lux DK Color Fusion April Team Emily. And it's just purple with some reds. And this was one that she had this one on sale. Okay, I'm starting to see a bit of a theme here. What do you think? Yeah. Then Haynes House Yarns. She and I talked for a little bit, and she had done a theme with Black superheroes for a nerd. She called it a nerd con, I think. That was that all had to do with Black superheroes, and this was Star Wars Darth Vader. And it says that the colorway story is, I find your lack of faith disturbing. And after losing James Earl Jones recently, I love him as an actor and his voice. I could listen to it all the time. And so this really spoke to me for that reason. Okay, so I met the fiberist, and this is Professor Aries. It's a pin, and it was fun. And my grandson is really into periodic table right now, and so I thought this would be a lot of fun, being able to show him that Granny can get into the periodic table a little bit too with her yarn. Polymorph Dye Works. This has all this tweed that is blacklight reactive. Okay, so I did get into all the blacklight stuff. I didn't get that much that was blacklight, but this one, I just loved it. Now this is Polymorph's Tweedy DK. It is a superwash merino Donegal with nips, and the colorway is Nerf, as a Nerf ball, I guess. It says it's lovingly hand dyed in Virginia by Lindsay. Then I also got to meet Bewitched Pigments, and I just kept going back to this color. It has some stellina in there. She had the colorway in a bunch of different bases, but I ended up getting the DK in this. The colorway is Bewilderment. I'm running out of room in front of me. All right, where did my card go for them? Okay, another one I'm going to have to put the name down below. This was one that had seconds, I think it was. As far, it was machine milled and then dyed. And I just loved the way they turned out. And you weighed them and paid by the weight. So I thought that was an interesting concept, because they just had all these different ones there. And it's superwash, but it really does have some unique texture to it. Something different that caught my eye. Then I got a little bit of cotton. And I mean, it is a little bit that is a longer staple. So I'm going to try my hand with the cotton. Oh, it smells so good. But with the cotton to try doing the drop spindle. And the last one is with Aisling yarn. I have 2 of them. And this is Pale Gray 9010 American Small Farms BFL, locally grown and custom spun. It's 100% non-superwash, Blueface Leicester, DK, so 250 yards for 4 ounces. Yeah, on both of those. And with the small farms and everything, they try to do theirs with very little chemicals, because usually I am pretty allergic to non-superwash. And so I'm going to experiment with this and see. They thought that maybe I was reacting to the chemicals that are used to process the yarns. So I'm going to experiment and see if that's the case or not, and see if I can mess with some woolly wools. If not, then Bill will end up getting these. Okay, it's empty. That's everything. Oh, I will be knitting and crocheting for the rest of my life. I look at this and I'm like, oops. But with as much as I saw and as much as I wanted, I did actually control myself some, believe it or not. Okay, so that's basically it for me. I hope you've had a fun time crawling through my yarns and my project bags and stitch markers and everything that came back with me. And I will see you. Let's see, it is, I say it was the 10th, I think. So I'll see you just a few weeks getting started with, oh man, December's almost here. I'll try to touch base with you guys before December or at the very beginning of December with another episode, and then we'll jump right in and start opening the Advents. They're right up there. Now, I do not know what I want to do for an Advent as far as a pattern-wise. I've looked at a few and I'm just not 100% sold on anything in particular. So if you have any ideas for Advent knitting or even crocheting, please do drop a note. If you like the video, please do like it, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because it will help me with growing the video. I am almost up to 400 subscribers, and I am excited for that. Keep it coming. I am looking forward to someday hopefully saying that I have over 1,000 subscribers and getting myself a little bit more control. But thank you for coming along on this journey with me today, and I will see you soon.